Now, the deadly novel coronavirus, it continues to wreak havoc across the world. 107 people have been tested positive for Covid-19 here in India. 2 people unfortunately have died, 9 have recovered. An Air India flight carrying 218 Indians from Milan landed in the country earlier today, and the evacuees will be quarantined at ITBP's Chawla facility in Delhi. Further, 236 Indians stranded in Iran have also returned to India, and they have been put under quarantine for 2 weeks in Army's Manesar facility. There's another incident which has been reported where 270 passengers had to be offloaded from a Kochi Dubai flight, and this after a person who is a native of UK, he tested positive for the coronavirus and he boarded the flight. The victim was in quarantine at a hotel, but he left the place without informing the authorities and went to the airport. Later, all the people from his group had to be taken for medical examination, and also everyone who was on the flight. Sneha Mordani is joining us on the broadcast. She's been tracking all the developments from the Health Ministry, the numbers which are coming right now. Sneha, clearly community spread is one thing we've been reiterating, we've been talking about what is it that the government can do. Why don't we briefly also talk about what you and I can do to ensure there is no community spread?
You know, Anusha, the sad bit is that there are things that are in our control and there are things that are not in our control. However, having said that, if there is community or cluster outbreak or community transmission, which is a third stage, then that moves on to the fourth stage, which is the epidemic. What we can do is also avoid crowded places. This is something that is being said. Basic steps that have been taken time and again, reiterated. Hygiene is extremely important, not just washing your hands, but washing your hands the right way, and there is enough that has been said on that front. Keeping clean in general, because remember, this virus, the way it is transmitted is by touching a contaminated surface, so that is something that is extremely important, and we've spoken about that at length. These are the things that we can do. Unnecessary travel that should be avoided to international destinations, and also, like I said, if you are avoiding going to crowded places where there are too many people and chances of you then coming in contact with somebody who has been tested positive for the infection are high, then avoid only if essential, then undertake travel. These are some of the steps that everybody has to take. Now, I'll just give you a small example. We've been talking about how avoiding travel is important. The Indian Railways, remember, is actually doing away with its curtains and its blankets. These are not washed every day, we know that. In fact, there was a report that said that these blankets are actually washed once a month. The Indian Railways has said, and this has in fact led to a lot of outrage also. Many people actually surprised that this was not done on every trip. Of course not. It's not done on every trip. The Indian Railways has said that. But the railway says, no, carry your own blanket. So I think these are some of the steps that we have to take on our own, really, to ensure that the infection is at bay.
All right. Remain aware. Read all the precautions which WHO is prescribing. Do your bit to make sure that the community spread stage does not reach, as Sneha Mordani has been reporting all the details. Thank you, Sneha, for getting us all the very important details on that story. That and much more is going up on our website, news18.com. With that, it's a wrap from me on this edition of CNN News 18. Thank you for watching this side.